Go.
Hi, thank you for helping my project. Could you say a little bit about yourself?
What do you want to know?
Let's see, where do you live? What are your favorite hobbies? That type of thing.
I'm an 84-year-old granny, well, in actual fact, a great granny, and I live in Port Elizabeth, South Africa. And my favorite hobbies are gardening and crafting and sewing and knitting, crocheting, etc., etc., etc.
That's pretty amazing. Well, since you're 84 years old, how old were you? You must have been in like your late 20s whenever we first went to the moon.
Yeah, it was. That's right. That was, and we were staying in Kimberley at that time. Yeah, and that was when we had the Sputniks and all the rest of it. And I remember lying flat on my back on the lawn at my late dad's cousin's place up in Kimberley, where you can see the skyline is absolutely beautiful at night because you haven't got all the lights and interference from from outside. You've got a beautiful dark sky, and we used to lie on a blanket and literally search for the Sputniks as they used to go, and we used to see them. We used to see them moving.
What was that like?
That was exciting. And I'm just trying to think what year that could have been. Well, that was what? Oh, what year was that? That was when was the first one? I can't remember now. Round about it was between between 61 and 70. It was between then, wasn't it?
I think that's about the right time.
Yeah, I think it was about then. I can't even remember, quite frankly. It's too far back.
And then, when Neil and Buzz landed on the moon in 1969, what was that like?
It was exciting, I mean, I think everybody, it was like the whole world, in actual fact, was carried away by all the the things that had happened. But I mean, now, there's so many things that are happening now. That was just. Well, nowadays, it's become quite novel, because there's so many new developments and things that they are trying out. And of course, being an old person of 84, and a lot of the older people do think that all these so-called things that are scouting around space and all the rest of it have got something to do with our climate change and interfering in the atmosphere. I don't know if it's got anything to do with it.
Well, I wanted to ask you, did you know that NASA is planning to send astronauts back to the moon?
Yes, I have heard that, John.
What do you think about it?
I don't know. I'm not fazed by it in any way now. Really and truly, It's, I don't know. It's all this. Quite frankly, to tell you the honest truth, doing things like that cost a fortune, right? It cost a fortune to send a spaceship into space. Where that money could be spent in poverty, absolute, people that are in filth and squalor and poverty all over the world. And I mean, there's homelessness in every country of the world because we've got a very overpopulated world, and that's the main thing that's causing it. And quite frankly, I just think it's a waste of money. Really, truly.
Have you heard of SpaceX?
Of?
SpaceX?
No.
Elon Musk space company.
Yes. Yeah.
And so they're planning tomorrow to do a test flight of this completely reusable rocket that should greatly reduce the cost of going to space. And they're planning to also use it for point-to-point Earth travel. So Michael and I could come to South Africa in 30 minutes once they get the thing operational.
Well, if it's going to be beneficial in the way of travel and things like that, and cost effective, okay, then it's fine. But I mean, at the moment, it's the cost of everything is ridiculous, absolutely. But yeah.
When you think about the future of humanity, say like 200 years out, what does it look like to you?
I wouldn't know because I don't know. I really don't know. I suppose they're going to have a man on the moon and life on the moon. I suppose they'll eventually accomplish that. I don't know. But not in my lifetime. Won't be in my lifetime.
If you had if you had the chance to take a rocket from South Africa to Houston to visit us, is that something you'd be likely to do?
No. I wouldn't. I don't. Look, I travel inside South Africa, but going overseas, no. I'm not all that keen.
That's awesome. Well, I see this as a time capsule for people, 100, 200 years to look back on what I think is going to be a pivotal decade with respect to space travel. I think the 2020s are going to be the space travel what the 1990s were to the internet. Is there anything that you think? Is there anything that you think would be neat for people looking back on this video to kind of remember?
Probably. I mean, and when it eventually comes, if it does come into force, I mean, I suppose we'll accept it, And I mean, I've just been watching something here now. I mean, we've gone through the COVID and all, all the rest of it. And Michael will tell you that I've not been in favour of the vaccine, and I've had it because it was supposedly necessary. And quite frankly, there are far too many health problems that have erupted in so many people, and particularly young people that have in actual fact died, and more so than what I've ever known in my lifetime, with strange illnesses, strange things. And, you question why. So, I don't know.
It's a really difficult situation we've been through for the past couple of years. So it's nice to see that we're hopefully past it, I guess. I hope.
Yeah, I was just watching a very interesting one here on YouTube here now. That it was actually a British one, and very thought-provoking, but I feel very true. Very, very true. So, anyway, yeah.
Well, thank you so much. It was such a pleasure to get to talk to you for my project.